145 in shape. You know what I mean? So this is different from a Crawford coming up to 168, but we know his walk around weight is probably 170, 180.
Only shortcomings, pun intended, is his height. He's 5'5" with a 67-inch arm reach. But as you can see here, he's working on his versatility.
Terence Crawford reportedly visited Gervonta Davis ahead of his upcoming fight with Jake Paul, offering him valuable training tips and strategic advice. The two champions were said to have shared techniques and discussed fight approaches, showing deep mutual respect. Crawford reportedly expressed his full support for Gervonta, praising his exceptional talent and work ethic.
Speaking about you, is that ever a possible fight?
Yeah, if he want to dare to be great, he can be like all the other fighters that's moving up 2 weight classes and, daring to be great.
You would fight him.
Man, tell him to come up there.
He got to come to win 54.
He said I got a glass chin, so tell him to come and touch it.
Wow, man! Devontae said you got a glass.
He said I got a glass chin. Tell him to come and touch it.
At 147?
At 147. I'll make 147 for him.
Ooh, see, oh, man.
You're going to have a pre-camp.
He even mentioned that if Davis ever wanted to face him in the ring, he would gladly entertain the idea, not out of rivalry, but out of respect for boxing itself. I don't know. Gervonta Davis seems to be drawing from the playbook of Terence Crawford, one of the most technically advanced fighters in boxing. Crawford's preparation for Canelo Alvarez caught attention for his constant stance switches.
Right. This is scary. Gervonta Tank Davis is working on his versatility. We already know he has that ultimate equalizer, that special God-gifted one-punch knockout power. But he also can box. Gervonta Tank Davis, he's very durable, has a chin, never seen him visibly hurt. Gervonta Tank Davis also has great footwork and foot placement. And here you see Gervonta Tank Davis' only shortcomings, pun intended, is his height. He's 5'5" with a 67-inch arm reach. But as you can see here, he's working on his versatility. He's now working on fighting orthodox. He's naturally a southpaw. Now he's working on fighting orthodox. Great switch hitters, no Diddy.
Balance control and unpredictable rhythm. Now Tank appears to be following the same pattern. His new training clips show him experimenting with footwork, changing angles, and even switching stances in mid-combination, something rarely seen from him before.
Career ending. It can be career ending. Jake Paul can end his whole shit. That's the black. Tank can end Jake Paul's whole shit. And if that fight is meh, and it's just a sparring session that's tit for tat, their shit's over. Because people are going to be pissed that it's exactly what they expected it to be. They can't do that. If they do, their career's ruined. Jake Paul career's ruined, and Tank. If they make it meh and just touch, both their brands suck. That's the black two sugars. You mess around in that bell ring, and you see little Tank, and you see big Jake, and he's throwing a jab, and little Tank making a miss, and bam, and y'all gonna be like, whoa, say I'm lying. Y'all, you know what? Yes, say I'm lying. Please say I'm lying. But y'all gonna be right there, cheering, because you ain't never seen nothing that damn bizarre. Even De La Hoya versus Shaq had headgear, and Shaq ain't a boxer. That right there, fireworks. Because you're going to be holding your breath, especially Tank fans. I'm going to be like, don't hit Tank. You're going to see Tank little ass legs. He's going to, and big ass Jake, big legs and big ass head. Watch. Y'all talk all that shit now because y'all love talking shit. Y'all love hating on things until you see it. Like women. Like women back in the 90s. I remember my sisters back in the 90s. You ain't that cute. You ain't, but all on your shit. That's what y'all do. Y'all talk shit, but y'all the first ones there.
Observers believe he's not just learning from Crawford, but also looking toward Jiren Boots Ennis, who mastered fighting comfortably from both stances. This transformation signals Tank's plan to surprise everyone in the upcoming fight against Jake Paul. Showbiz the Adult, a well-known boxing commentator, stated that the fight between Tank and Jake must stay interesting. He explained that many people expect it to look like a sparring session with both fighters going easy on each other to avoid embarrassment. However, if that happens, it would instantly destroy both of their careers.
If you're really not happy with Tank, first off, don't watch Tank. Don't do it. You know what I'm saying? You support it, then what you doing? You can't not support and support at the same time, right? So if you're a boxing purist, then this fight with Roach is really more for you. It's going to be more up your alley, you know? If you just like all entertainment, all fights, all hypes, all everything, then you're going to want to tune in to the Tank and Paul show there, you know, because that's all for entertainment. What is it? For entertainment purposes only, right? It's just say like somewhere in the small print of the promotion. For entertainment, don't do this at home, kids. You know, so fine.
Disclaimer.
Yeah, disclaimer. For entertainment purposes only, you know. So you know, it's money-making purposes only, you know. It is what it.
Fans would lose interest and never pay to watch them again. With both Tank and Jake having massive audiences that demand excitement, this fight cannot be a cautious display. It has to bring real intensity because if it turns dull, the hype surrounding it will vanish completely. Career ending. Keith Thurman pointed out a clear reality about Gervonta Davis and his critics.
Pretty much the only people that can beat him is Shakur Stevenson, and I don't know who else he said. She thought that at a point in time that Devin Haney could beat him, but now she doesn't believe that. But so really the only fight that there is for Gervonta Davis is Shakur. What a mighty, mighty convenient argument. And Gervonta Davis responded. And basically his response was, come on, girl, stop talking about me so much because you're making me feel like I'm special. Right? So he pretty much just, you know, kind of blows it off. But I really think that there's something much deeper going on here. And it is that this, and I said it again, I said it in another video, I'll say it in this one, the Bud Buddies. The Bud Buddies are a crew of boxers that all hang around and worship Terence Bud Crawford. And the main two members of it, besides the people that are actually in Terence Crawford's camp, as fighters are Shakur Stevenson and Clarissa Shields, without a doubt. Clarissa Shields is a huge backer of Terence and a huge backer of Shakur Stevenson. At the end of the day, the only thing she really cares about is what's in the best interest of Shakur Stevenson. And anything and everything she say is angled that way to get Gervonta Davis to do something that Shakur Stevenson wants him to do, which is really do all the hard work and then be there for Shakur Stevenson to become a star at the end of it. I'm telling you, man, I believe that to the bottom of my soul, that is the same plan that Terence Crawford ran on Errol Spence Jr.
He explained that the same people who constantly criticize Tank are also the ones who never miss his fights. They claim his performances aren't good enough, yet they keep watching every event he's in. Thurman believes this kind of behavior shows how fans unknowingly support him while trying to bring him down. Their attention, even when negative, only makes Tank's name bigger in the boxing world. Every time they call his fights disappointing, they end up giving him more spotlight and keeping his popularity alive.
With fighters pretty much in their prime. But other than the size mismatch, most people are wondering why has Tank taken this fight? And those were the first questions targeted to Tank in this presser. Because usually these sorts of bouts are relegated to the latter part of your career. And for most Gervonta Davis supporters, they thought they would get the big fights next, the Shakurs. They didn't think he would be fighting Jake Paul. Although Tank tried to push it off as fans should just be happy watching the sport and hey, haters will be haters, I think that's quite unfair to the people who have been loyal supporters of him and honestly have paid his bills. He tried to compare the level of criticism he gets to the likes of Mayweather, but the difference is with his mentor Floyd, he really did fight a lot of champs in their prime. Has Tank? Well, not really. The most notable fight he's recently had that the people actually wanted was the Ryan Garcia fight, and the only reason he took that fight was because everything was on his terms. And other than the Ryan fight over the last couple years, it's either been people who aren't in his weight division, which he's pulling up, or fighters ranked in the lower half of the top 10 lightweight list. The fights people have truly wanted to see just have never materialized, and simply that's why people criticize him. If the likes of Crawford never fought Spence or Usyk never fought Fury or Joshua, they would have caught the same level of flack. The reason why fighters like them are applauded is because generally they take on whatever challenge is in front of them. Tank instead, his whole career has bobbed and weaved around the most significant challenges that the people actually want to see, unless he has every...
When Clarissa Shields commented that the only fight that makes sense for Tank is against Shakur Stevenson, it didn't sit well with him. Tank responded coldly, saying, "No one has the right to tell him what to do." His message was clear. If people want to be fans, they should just be fans, not managers. The reaction comes from a deeper place. After his draw against Lamont Roach, many of his own fans turned against him online, calling him overrated.
There's no rehydration clause, which I don't believe there is. He'll probably weigh around 215 pounds in the ring. That means there's a sort of a 60 to 70 pound difference between the two men in the ring on fight night, which is absolutely enormous. There are weight classes for a reason in boxing, and this is the sort of thing that is typically not allowed or permitted. And like I said in my intro, it goes to the heart of that key question in boxing, which is how big is too big? It's the reason that the pound for pound list exists, where we kind of imagine if everybody was the same size, who's the best, who's number one? And it's a debate that rages on and on and on. And so when I see a fight like this, I think the hardcore boxing fans, generally speaking, have felt frustrated by it. Yes, because we want Gervonta Davis as part of the actual sport, competing for world titles against the other elite guys in his weight class. But also because if he gets knocked out and loses to Jake Paul, it creates this illusion that Jake Paul's much better than he actually is. And so I guess the question for me is, can Gervonta Davis beat Jake Paul, or will Jake Paul simply be too massive? Can Jake Paul use his size, or will Gervonta Davis simply be too skilled? What's the answer here? And in trying to answer this, I looked to history. And there's one fight that immediately popped out of my mind, and I thought, I wonder what the size difference was there. In fact, it may even be more significant. And it was... and the small guy won. Some of you might be thinking about it right now. It's when David Haye took on the monster, the absolutely ginormous human being, Nikolai Valuev. I think it took place around 2009. So at the time, I was literally a teenager. I didn't have a clue what I was looking at, and I'd fully bought into this David versus Goliath story. But I think it's an excellent example here to draw comparisons between the Gervonta Davis-Jake Paul fight to try and understand whether or not this is a good template and blueprint to try and predict and understand what the size difference might look like in the ring. Now, David Haye was 6'3" and was 217 pounds for the Valuev fight, whereas Valuev was 7 foot tall and weighed
That criticism clearly stung him, and now he's done playing by anyone else's expectations. His mindset is simple. He fights on his own terms, not for approval. The matchup between Tank and Jake Paul doesn't fit the structure of traditional boxing. As many boxing analysts have pointed out, fights like these don't represent real competition.
Purists hate it, the algorithm loves it, and both will watch. It's not just who wins, it's what wins. Will the entertainment value or the ring IQ come out on top? Because if Tank dominates, the meme dies. Jake Paul survives or hits it big, we see new rules are going to be written in real time. Me, you, maybe everyone at some point has been that bigger guy thinking that I'll just bully him. Jab, slip, liver shot, sent me down real nicely. Size helped until it didn't. All I'm saying is let's not dismiss something because it looks weird. Many fights get decided by the details. Feet before fists, timing before muscle, discipline before clout. Look, Tank wins if he stays Tank. He's built on patience, traps, explosive counters. That's hell for a tall guy who gets eager. Jake's long jab is the gate, but Tank's head movement is the key. Once he times it, the door's getting open and the furniture is going to get rearranged. Think locksmith versus padlock. Big padlock looks scary until the right tool clicks once. Jake throws that overhand like he's bowling with the shoulder.
They exist in a space between sport and show. The biggest reason this fight feels questionable is that both men are still in their primes. Exhibition matches usually make sense when fighters are past their peak, like Mayweather's recent shows. But in this case, both are active, capable, and still climbing their respective ladders. This makes the event even stranger. It blurs the line between a boxing contest and a viral entertainment stunt.